Okay, thanks everybody for coming out here today. I know this weather is really harsh, but the reality is this is what some of our homeless veterans are literally living in 24/7, 12 months a year. And that's why I'm here today. This week I learned about an Afghanistan war veteran, Robert Moore, one of too many in Connecticut, who was asking to be heard and have our promises to him kept. It broke my heart to find out that since November he's been living in his Jeep and he has a baby girl due in about 2 weeks. He's not our only Connecticut vet without housing or the services that were promised to him by our government. I'm the daughter of a veteran and I married one. All my life my family and I have worked to make sure that veterans get what they need. We're here today, all of us, trying to make a difference, and we're not going to stop on that mission. But when Senator Murphy recently wrote that we have ended veteran homelessness in Connecticut, and then that I saw Governor Malloy's statement declaring that our homeless vet tragedy is over, I was outraged at what was happening. I have not heard a single word from Congressman Courtney, my congressman in this district, demanding that the governor pay attention and recognize our homeless vets in Connecticut. We play music, we shine bright lights, we celebrate when our men and women in uniform go overseas to serve our country. But what happens when they leave our shores and then come home? Too often when they return, they're forgotten when they need us the most. Our American brothers and sisters humbly serve us so we can live free in this country. It's a lesson our politicians need to listen to and learn. Robert lives in the shadows, but is standing with us bravely today against all odds. He's going to help us cast light on the plight of our veterans here. Every week in places like the South Park Inn in Hartford, our homeless vets seek shelter from the bitter cold. I spoke with Brian Baker earlier today, who runs that inn, and he talked about what's happening up there in Hartford. Every week, people, over 150 served every year for many years on end. We need to help our homeless veterans. One of his concerns is that as we make progress toward supplying our vets with the services, that the programs that we get will be getting cut and that the funding will go away. Every week in New Haven, our volunteers go down on the streets looking for homeless, making sure they get a hot meal and a blanket to keep them from freezing in these cold nights. Governor Malloy, Senators Blumenthal and Murphy, Congressman Courtney, and all of the other elected officials in Connecticut, I challenge you. We are better than this. We can do better. Redefining homelessness doesn't eliminate the tragedy. A cot in a shelter at night doesn't end the problem. And it certainly doesn't mean that our vets now have a home. I call on Congressman Courtney to challenge Governor Malloy and Senator Murphy to recognize this reality. We have homeless vets in towns across Connecticut. Standing with me are volunteers and others who work with these people. They exist. I couldn't say no when Robert Moore asked to be heard. He deserves so much more than that from the rest of us. He is one soul, but the voice of many in our state. Please listen to what he has to say today. I can't stand politicians who make empty promises and twist the truth. And I'll tell you this, I worked hard all my life for vets. And if I get elected to Congress, I will be your alley cat in Washington and help to fight for our veterans. We're a great and compassionate country, and we need to act like it now and here in Connecticut. We need to take care of the least among us. So I call on all of our politicians, stop the political games now. Just because Washington politicians certified Connecticut is be home free, as certifying veterans as not being homeless in Connecticut, it doesn't make it the reality. So thanks very much, and Robert, let's draw here. If you'd like to come up and say anything.
Hi there, my name is Robert Moore. I'm the veteran that spoke out against Governor Dan Malloy on Facebook. I've even messaged him on his account there, and I've received no reply from him. I received quick messages from the support here, these volunteers. I was active duty for 3 years at 10th Mountain Division up in Fort Drum, New York, and then followed up another 2 years in the Guard up there at Fort Drum in the New York National Guard. I did one tour in Afghanistan, 2010 to 2011 with the 10th Mountain Division. My girlfriend's about 10 days from having our baby, Amanda, any day now, up in Manchester. Usually I keep her at home with my family. My parents' landlord won't let me stay there, so I stay in my Jeep at Walmart parking lot or CVS, wherever I can go. I invite Dan Malloy, if you say veteran homelessness is over, come in with my Jeep. It's over there. It's a green 1990 Cherokee. No heat, no airbags. Come and spend a night with me. That's about it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to say anything today? I know that we've got bad weather here. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and this is not a one-time event. We are going to hold all of our officials accountable. Our veterans deserve the best, and standing out here in the cold, everybody's just got a little sampling for a few minutes of what our vets go through all the time. We must remember them, and like I said, I'm going to be an alley cat on this. I am going to fight and scrap in Washington, D.C. until we resolve the problem, and we're going to make sure it never happens again in this country. So I hope everybody also comes out and votes this November, whatever your party. Just get active. Thank you. Oh, we got one more first aid, quickly. We have one other person. This is with Senator.
So just talk.
Okay. No, I just met him earlier today, but he's a brother of mine. I was in Iraq for the invasion and stayed there for 8 years myself, working at the embassy. My brother just got his commission in the Marines. My grandfather and my father were both combat vets also. And I know that Senator Blumenthal here is a veteran of the Marines, and I hope that as somebody that's on the senatorial Veterans Committee, he reaches out to veterans of Connecticut and makes sure that the 22 people a day who commit suicide and are ignored by the Veterans Administration Hospital are given out or extended a hand and helped out. So this is unacceptable. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming out. If anyone wants to stay on our mailing list, we've got a sign-up sheet here. I'd love to have the ability to stay in contact with you.